Hello everyone, welcome back to another Train Sim World 6 video. Today we are back on the Fife Circle line by Rivet Games, and we are at Glenrothes with Thornton, and we are heading down to Edinburgh Waverley while going along the north part of the Fife Circle line, which I don't think I've ever made a video on. I've always gone along that southern portion of the Fife Circle on my YouTube videos. But anyway, yeah, today we are in the Class 170 Turbostar, which has had a couple of updates. First of all, the numbering is now correct for the type of headlight cluster used, which was a minor issue. But I'm glad Rivet finally fixed it. And also, there's new cab rattle audio that is also been implemented in the West Midlands Rail and cross country versions. So yeah, I've also got a new mod in use today. It's the live weather mod by Winzarton over on the Train Sim community website. Link is down in the description. It's only available for use on Steam and Epic Games because it needs to access the TSW API, but it basically injects live weather in, which is just a seriously cool idea, and it also updates every 5 minutes. I actually learned it from watching a video by Train Sim Society, so big shout out to him as well. He's also a great YouTuber. Anyway, enough waffle, let's get going. Let's get the safeties on first. AWS, DSD, Vigilance. Unlike in the West Midlands and cross country ones, we don't have to click the AWS one. So as you can tell, announcements are working with this with the 170, but not with the 158. Typical. Yeah, the 170 sounds are still annoyingly broken because, well, oh, and I've also learned about this. Wait, I can't click the hill. Oh, great! I can't click the hill start button. You can in the West Midlands version and cross country version. Anyway, so yeah, our stops today are, yeah, we have quite a few of them. I'll get into them once we get going, but yeah. Oh, I also forgot to turn the GSMR on. There we go. Buzz him back, buzz the driver, move, go forward. Right, next up, Cardendon in 5 miles. We do have a 15 limit for the shunt. So yeah, as you can see, we are here. We're going to go down here, cross Forth Rail Bridge, and into Edinburgh. I should zoom the map out all the way because that improves performance for some reason in this game. Oh boy. Come on. Oh boy, that's a bit of an overspeed. Oh, there's another train coming. And it's a 158. Presumably waiting to get into Glenrothes. Let's see, is he going to Glenrothes? He is. Yeah. Well, I have been enjoying the Sprinter Express timetable despite its flaws, like no high speed services, which with the GWR-HST, like on ScotRail Express, like despite the fact that I've bemoaned the fact that it layers on so many times, and then the fact that the cross country 220 doesn't layer on, the LNER 801 layers on, but it doesn't represent LNER services heading up to Inverness, which is annoying. Yeah, despite the things wrong with this timetable, I have been enjoying it. Taking a look at the weather, yeah, it's like the mod, this live weather mod, not only like it also has like an overlay which you can put on the screen, which I've got that turned off simply because I want to keep performance hits to a minimum, because using the API Okay, that was rapid. I thought I could have sworn that the transitions were less abrupt than that, but okay, fair enough. This mod is very much a work in progress, so yeah. Again, if you want to check it out, there's a link down in the description. You can barely tell that there's new cab rattle audio, but it is there, to be fair to Rivet Games. If I open the window... Yeah. I'll probably open the window for when we leave Cardendon. Today we have got Cardendon, Lochgelly, Cowdenbeath, Dunfermline, Queen Margaret, Dunfermline City, Rosyth, Inverkeithing, North Queensferry, Dalmeny, Edinburgh Gateway, South Gyle, Haymarket, and Edinburgh Waverley. So a local stopper today, that's for sure. Is there any way to make the transition like less absurdly short? Hang on, while this is going on, I'm literally going in to see download data interval. I could actually change it. Okay, so I've changed it. Hopefully it should be less, I hope, it should be less abrupt transitions now. Transitions, if I understand it correctly, transitions should take every 10 seconds instead of not every 10 seconds. Transitions should take 10 seconds instead of being 5 seconds. And yeah, the mod is trying to represent what the weather is like in this location right now using a free weather source, which is like, I just wish this was in the base game. Like, I think I'll just be using live weather pretty much every single time from now on, simply because I just love it. Like, I finally don't have to rely on the admittedly quite limited presets and slider bars that they give us in the main menu. The weather will try to represent real life, and I think that's what we've been striving for, and it is my biggest regret that this thing is not compatible with console. I know Matt Pedalston, the executive producer, talked about having mods on console, but quite frankly, there are only a few games which have managed that well. And the only one I could think of off the top of my head is Transport Fever 2. And that one also has mod crossplay. So, like, if you have a mod on, say, PlayStation, then you can have it on via Steam Workshop as well. Which is just such a cool idea. Anyway, like, the fact that the console people can't access this is such a shame. Like, yeah. Also, it's been at least a year since I've been on the North Branch of the Fife Circle, so you're gonna have to forgive me if some shoddy driving occurs, because I'm not the... Oh, what? That's my brake button, hang on. Has it changed my keyboard? No. Oh, that's the hill start button. That's the hill start bind. I forgot it's a combined brake handle. Okay, my apologies, viewers, I just got mixed up. So that's my hill start bind. That's helpful to know, because I don't think I can manually click it.
We'll soon arrive at Cardendon.
Oh man, having those announcements working, like, yes. And Rivet Games, to their credit, they actually pioneered having announcements, because I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, they actually introduced having train announcements with the Bernina line, and then they also added it to the Fife Circle as well. Like, it's not complete compared to the more modern announcements like on the Riviera line, but it definitely it does the trick really nicely. Yeah, I think I'll definitely have to do a hill start here. I'll also open a window so we can hear stuff happening. Here's Cardendon. Nice purple bridge. Next stop after this is Loch Gelly, and I assume I'm pronouncing that correctly. My Scots pronunciation is not the best. Let's have a look at the... Okay, so live weather mod appears to be doing... Yeah, live weather mod is definitely doing its thing, which is nice. And I love how the doors take a slower amount of time to close than the 158 stores do. The 158 stores take 15 seconds to close, while this takes about just under 10 seconds. Hill start button is pressed. Buzz him back. Two miles to Loch Gelly. Alright, let's shut the window so we aren't deafened any longer. Yeah, I think the sounds with the 170 are definitely the weakest part of the add-on, but Rivet Games has got a fix incoming. They managed to get some more authentic sounds off of a real-life Southern Class 171 that they're incorporating those better sounds into the Southern Class 171 and 377-3 gameplay pack that's upcoming for East Coastway, and then they have said that they will port those sounds, new improved sounds, back to the ScotRail, West Midlands Rail, and Cross Country 170s that already exist in the game, which is quite good, I must say. Like, credit where credit is due. Rivet Games are quite good at going back and updating some of their add-ons. There are some of their add-ons which are in a huge need of updating, like West Cornwall Local badly needs an Intercity Swallow Villain to powered HST, for instance. Arosa Line needs better scenery. Espan Central Schweiz needs more track and a better ETCS system, better simulated ETCS system. I could go on, but they do go back and do some do pretty consistent updates to some of their add-ons. Not all of them, but some. I must admit, at the end of the day, what am I saying? Fife Circle is a pretty relaxing drive. If you want something that's not too busy, rural, decent scenery, fourth rail bridge,
We'll soon
like
arrive at Loch Gelly.
I can highly recommend the...
Take your belongings with you
Wait a
before
minute,
you leave
I want to
town.
test something out. If I go into the settings and I go into audio, there's something called cab announcements, so it plays the announcements in the cab. Has that been implemented here is what I want to know. Never mind, it appears to not be working. Never mind. Alright. Loch Gelly. As of recording this, ScotRail actually has plans to electrify the Fife Circle line, apart from the fourth rail bridge, and just run battery electric EMUs over the fourth rail bridge, which is a nice idea, I must say. Stop, please. Thank you. We'll need to do a hill start again. The exterior sounds on the 170 are decent, but when you flick between cameras, the sounds take a bit to fade in. I don't know why that is. But, yeah. As I've said, Rivet do have a fix for the sounds incoming. A bit like, and I believe the Cross Country Class 220, which is a Rivet, officially a Dovetail Games product, but is actually, according to the game files, a Rivet Games product. Yeah, we'll be leaving slightly late, but who cares? Shush. Notch 5. Next up, Cowdenbeath. Alright. Yeah. So, a lot of services actually terminate at Cowdenbeath and don't continue on to Glenrothes, so... Yeah. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Every time I make a video on a Turbostar in TSW, I mention the fact that I would love a London Marylebone to Aylesbury route in TSW. Like, I don't care if they do it in TSW7, as long as it has like a full list of features. Like, it would need to have a 166 off of Great Western Express, 165, which is a modified version of the 166, would have to be a modified version of the 166, a Class 168 Turbostar, which is notable because not only is it a member of the Turbostar family, but it's also got a it's also a member of the Turbostar family that we don't yet have, because all we've got is the 170. We are getting the 171, but there's no sign of the 168. Then I would love to see what was it? Shush. I would love to see I would love to, what was it? Then, so yeah, 166, 165, 168, which would be like the multiple unit complement, and then we'd have to have the Class 68 in Chiltern Railways colours, with either the modified Mark IIIs to represent it in a 2025 or before state, or if we want 2026 and beyond, it would have to be the Mark Vs and the Mark V cab car. Otherwise, we could have the Mark IIIs and the Mark IV DVT. So, yeah. Yeah, we already have a Chiltern Railways 166 in TSW. However, it's AI only and on Incredible Trains' North London line or Mildmay line or whatever you want to call it. And it's in an unbranded state. Yeah, you can definitely see the effects of this live weather. Like, look at that, like, fog effect. That wasn't there before. Have I said I just love this mod? I have? Well, I love this live weather mod. Like, this needs to be a part of the base game, and it needs to be done properly as well. There's the announcements.
We'll soon arrive at Cowdenbeath. Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
Cowdenbeath. Another thing about the announcements are, I think the 170, if you yeet it onto ScotRail Express to do the Glasgow Queen Street to Croy or vice versa, I think it also does those services. I think it also does announcements on that line too. As well, I think the 158 does it as well, but the 158 announcements are currently broken, like really broken. I have not been able to get them to work despite me just trying. No need to use a hill start. We're on a pretty steep slope. Actually, you know how I said before I haven't gone up the north part of the Fife Circle on camera? Well, I have to contradict myself because I actually have gone as far as Cowdenbeath, but that was a guard mode service, so that was when the Lavid branch extension was released and God mode got added to the ScotRail 170. So like about a year ago. Alright. What's the next stop? Dunfermline Queen Margaret. Okay. No, wrong button. That's the button. Oops, I hit the headlight button instead of the door close button. Whoops. Next stop, Dunfermline Queen Margaret in 3.5 miles. Oh. It's getting dimmer. Yeah, I also have to be careful because if there's high humidity, this live weather adjusts the track wetness, so if I'm not careful, I can wheel slip, even though we're in, quotes, dry, i.e. not raining conditions, which is actually so cool. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it started to rain in a minute. Oh yeah, you can tell by the ballast is shining too. That's actually so sick. It looks as though it's just rained, though it hasn't. But yeah, as I said, this mod is still in a work in progress. But what is here is superb. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, I'm going to use this instead of the default weather presets for like 99% of my future TSW videos going forward. That's if the mod gets updated for TSW7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, etc., etc. So, yeah. Oh, we're heading downhill again. I do love the live weather because it also adds a bit of unpredictability. Like, what will the live weather do next? It's not just custom weather where it remains the same weather throughout the entire trip. Oh no. It's like proper weather. Hello. The scenery on the North Branch is definitely not as unique as the scenery on the South Branch of the Fife Circle, where you have the North Sea and the cliffs to look at, but it's like the Fife Circle is definitely an enjoyable drive. If I want to do something simple in British stock, like this is, I don't go on ScotRail Express. I go on this line because the scenery, for one thing, is a lot more variable. And for one thing, I don't have to put up with sitting in the Class 385 and having a literal slit to see out of. Like, I'm not, like, this isn't a complaint at Rivet Games. This is a complaint at Hitachi, who made the Class 385. Like, why did they think having a literal slit for a window was a good idea? Like, I know you don't need to have a lot of visibility as A, the guard's doing a lot of it for you, B, all you need to really see are signals and speed limit signs, but even so, the Class 385 is probably has the least visibility of any train in this game, and I have made it a point of avoiding it like the plague. I drive the Class 380, like, instead, because, well, that doesn't have the best lighting and the best visibility in the world. It is still a damn sight better than the Class 385. And also, the Class 385 in-game has some pretty terrible sounds. I'm gonna say that. Like, the sounds on the 385 are pretty terrible. So I use a sound mod by Itzia165, who actually finally made it sound realistic, rather than just like a washing machine, which is what the default one sounds like.
We'll soon arrive at Dunfermline Queen Margaret. Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
I love having announcements. Like, they are definitely a massive increase to the realism. Just wish that there are still some announcements currently missing or broken. Like the three core routes, Birmingham to and Birmingham to Crewe, have missing announcements. Like, and then the ones on the ScotRail 158 are just entirely broken. We are, however, early, so, and also we don't need to do a hill start again, which is nice. We have a bit of time. What was that? What? What was that animation? I got, like, propelled out of my seat. That's what I was worried would happen. Yep, I'm getting stuck in the roof. Lovely. Never mind. That's annoying. Performance is doing decently. And I haven't been needed to use the DRA yet either. Wait, no, stop. That's embarrassing. I just left a minute early. Oops. Alright, shut that. That's a... Oops. That's a ironically funny mistake on my part. That's hilarious. Whoops. Alright. Yeah. Yeah. Every time I look at the live weather, I just pause and unpause the game just to make sure I can hit all my keys. There, now we can go because we're actually approaching the leaving time. Next stop, Dunfermline City in 1.5 miles. One mile to Dunfermline City. Where are we? Oh, we're actually quite close. So it's Dunfermline City, Rosyth, Inverkeithing. So we only have 2 stops left on the north branch of Fife. I was going to say, if we're lucky, we might spot the RHTT service that appears at this time of year, but then I realized it's in the middle of the night. Like, literally, it's like it's a 3-parter, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. the services start at, which is annoying, but
soon arrive at
probably realistic, I assume.
City. Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
I think we're going to be late. Oh dear. Okay, that sign said 55. The track monitor says 50. Okay, that's slightly odd. onto the brakes. Please stop. Thank you. We're actually only here for 20 seconds before we have to go again. And we're late. Lovely. Oh well. I'll do a notch 7 departure, even though you're not supposed to do that in a Turbostar. Next stop, Rosyth in 2 miles. Alright. Wonder where that track goes. Goes off the map. Those more familiar with Scotland's railways, please do let me know where that little branch line goes, because I don't know. Man, this game, for all the flack that I give it, and like I criticize it because I like this game. I want it to be more realistic. I want it to look better. I want it to perform better. But there's some times when even in its seemingly buggy half-finished state, this game looks gorgeous, and this is actually one of those times, because this actually looks gorgeous. Wow. My one hope is it doesn't start raining by the time we get to the 4th bridge, because I want that to look somewhat clear. Weather can do whatever it wants after that. Even it can start even snowing if it wants to, but I want it to remain clear until we get to the 4th rail bridge. "700 yards, and then this is the last stop on the north section of the Fife Circle. Rosyth is how it's pronounced.
With you before you leave the train.
Alright, onto the brakes. Come on, buddy. And we're arriving early, like, yes! I do love arriving. I do love me arriving early. Come on, stop. That's another overshoot, but oh well. I've only seen one other train today, and that was the 158 pulling into Glenrothes. Are there any other trains coming up here? Or One's at like Inverkeithing or the fourth. Okay, there is one. We might see Edinburgh Waverley to Glenrothes. Yeah, we'll definitely see that one. And then there's one ahead of me from Laven headed to Waverley. Next stop, Inverkeithing in 1.5 miles. We do have a 30 limit coming up for joining back onto the East Coast Main Line. I'm going to say, because yeah, the East Coast Main Line comes in here, up here, and then up here, Dundee, Inverness, Aberdeen, all that kind of thing. Notch 2 on the brakes. There's the motorway, which goes over the road bridge, fourth road bridge. I think it's the M8, or it could be the A8. Can't remember. My Scottish geography is a bit rusty. I would love to come here in real life, though. I want to see the fourth bridge in real life and go train spotting at Dalmeny. That's one of my bucket list things to do. Go train spotting at Dalmeny next to the fourth rail bridge. Maybe even see a rail tour. Who knows? But I've never been up as far as Scotland. I would love to go. Just never had the opportunity. And then what was it? Yeah, farthest north I've ever been is Blackpool. Sadly.
We'll soon arrive at Inverkeithing.
Inverkeithing.
Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
There goes the East Coast Main Line off to our left, along the southern branch of the Fife Circle. Onto the brakes. So, anyone coming? Yeah, here comes the Glenrothes service. Don't see any others. Oh, I do see one. It's another 158 heading to Dundee, so we'll definitely see that one. Yeah, we'll probably start seeing a lot more traffic as we get onto the onto the Edinburgh to Glasgow main line. Haven't had to use the DRA yet. All signals have been green, which is nice. I do like Inverkeithing. It's got like a nice... I do like the station design. It's a nice design. I like it. It's a bit... What did I say that architectural style is? And I see... Yes, I see you. I haven't gotten you yet, have I? Collectibles are one of the banes of my life in this game. Like... There's only one route where I've gotten all the collectibles, and that's Peterborough to Doncaster of all routes, ironically. There's the Glenrothes Class 158. Oh, let's open the window so we can hear it go by. Yeah, we can barely hear it over our own engine. No! Dang it. Ooh, that was a thunder flash in real life. Uh-oh. You probably heard that. That was loud. Yeah. But where I live in Japan has been quite stormy recently. And I've got, oh boy, have I got a story to tell you in the video coming out later today. I haven't edited that one, so it might be tomorrow, I don't know. Oh, did I forget to shut the window? No, I didn't. Right, beans. Next stop, North Queens Ferry in 1.5 miles. One thing I'm really glad about with this live weather app is that despite using the API, it doesn't tank your performance, which is very helpful. Alright, speed limit 65, we count as an HST because we're not freight. And now we really start getting into some winding tunnels, steep hills with tunnels. Okay, that tunnel has a weird lighting transition, I swear. Oh, it's the notice board light. Hang on. That's better. Gotta remember to do that. Turn the tunnel light, the notice board light off, because otherwise it's really distracting. Still climbing. I actually gave the live weather mod a thorough test. Oh, there's the Laven 158. I did a thorough test of the live weather mod. I actually went back to another Rivergate's product, the Bernina line, because I thought, since that line has well over 1 kilometer of elevation change, the weather would change significantly between Tirano and Ospizia Bernina. But it did. Like, as I got to Ospizia Bernina, like, the ground started having snow on it. Like, it actually, like, to be, like, it was really well done. Alright. North Queens Ferry?
We'll soon arrive at North Queens Ferry.
What did I tell ya?
Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
Don't worry, Mom. I don't have any luggage today. It's just me in the cockpit. Oh, that was a mistake to slow down that early. At least we've got a tad of leeway. If you were doing this route HUDless, this station comes up pretty abruptly, so, well, unless you have announcements going, of course. I can't wait to have the probably Skyhook developed into 7 City HST add-on for this route, because, yeah, we're in dire need of it, especially on ScotRail Express, where the substituted GWR HST just, like, that's one of the few layers that I've turned off because I do not want to see that. Because it's just so unrealistic. That's what I'm thankful for the layer tool, because I can turn stuff up, I can turn, like, individual layers off without uninstalling the add-on. And I want to keep GWE installed. I want the remaster to come soon. Yeah, there is the mighty rail bridge itself. That's the road bridge off to our right there. And actually, Rivet actually included a decent amount of scenery on either side of the bridge, like, yeah. Next stop, Dalmeny in 2 miles. And most of that 2 miles is on the 4th rail bridge, ironically. Oh, this is a tough start. Come on, girl. You've got the... Oh man, you can tell this is a British train by the fact it just can't get up hills that well. This is a pretty modern British diesel multiple unit. Why in the heck aren't these things built to handle hills better? Especially with like the West Midlands version on the Lickey Incline. Like, come on. At least it's flat from here all the way to Dalmeny. All the way to the end of the rail bridge, I should say. Stunning how this thing is still in use today. Wow. That never gets old, crossing the fourth rail bridge. Look at that! And to be fair to Rivet Games, they absolutely nailed it. It nailed the bridge to a T. Like, this is by far the scenic highlight of the route. Alright. I think you know what time it is. It's time for a gratuitous bridge shot. How far can I go? Actually, quite a long way. Look how small I am compared to the bridge. That really gives you a good sense of scale, doesn't it? Holy moly. That really does give you a sense of how massive this bridge is. Wow. London Midland signal visual mod really helping out. Now. I want to capture the bridge as well. I think I need to advance game time a bit. Hang on. There we go. Is that good? Oh yeah. That looks pretty dang good. Nope, that's the wrong button. Nope, that's the wrong one. There we go. I hit the wrong button twice over. There we go. Onto the brakes for Dalmeny. Performance is doing surprisingly well, considering we're running the live weather mod in the background. It is clearing up a bit, I think. Oh. Too much brakes. At least we could go up to 80 after Dalmeny, down to Gateway, but yeah. Oops. That's my bad. I've forgotten to buzz back at the last few stations. Whoops. Oh! NPCs falling off a staircase? That's one of the things that never ceases to for me to like kick off about. The NPCs being as buggy as they are. Like, the NPCs in this game shouldn't be this buggy. A smaller studio there's a studio that made SimRail. Like, the NPCs in SimRail are by no means perfect. However, they're not as glitchy or buggy as just generally just borked as the NPCs in TSW. Next stop, Edinburgh Gateway in 4 miles. Oops. And unlike the Class 158, we are actually certified to go up to the line maximum of 100 miles an hour versus the 158 that's stuck at 90. We can actually go all the way to 100. Like, the game lets you go up to 100 in the 158, but it shouldn't. That's not legal. It's pretty cold out there. Should pray. Why didn't I think of this before? I should probably get the cab heater on if I can remember where those dang... where that dang switch is. Oh well. Can't remember. Oh well. That line, yeah, that actually joins up with the Edinburgh-Glasgow line, the one that goes off to the right. I believe it's freight only, though. It's a cold but pretty clear day up here in Scotland. Few scattered clouds about, but not much otherwise. 100 limit kicking into force pretty soon. So hopefully we can take advantage of that, because it's downhill basically from here to Gateway. That's the 100 limit. And there we go, we are clear up to our legal maximum, which is not too often you get to do that in the Turbostar. Hopefully we'll have enough distance, because the Turbostar is pretty underpowered. Hopefully we can get to 100 before we have to go back down again, either to stop at Gateway or for a lower speed limit. Okay, we are on a pretty steep downhill grade, so hopefully we can get some speed going while we're heading downhill. Shush. There's a 90 limit. I don't think we'll be able to get there. As we'll, especially since we'll start heading uphill after this little bridge here. Yeah, I think we might make 90, but we will definitely not make 100. FPS is steadily dropping as usual, but it's not as bad as with that third rail, the map program that I used to use. Alright, there's the 90 limit. 1 mile to go, so I'll actually cut the power back. We barely made 90. We weren't able to get to 100, sadly. There's Edinburgh Airport just off to our right there. You can see like the runway equipment just off there.
We'll soon arrive at Edinburgh Gateway.
Oh, yeah, we can't use notch 3 because otherwise we wheel slip.
Your belongings with you
I'll hit the sander. I have to use notch 3 though, otherwise I won't slow down in time, so I'll just have to wheel slip, I suppose. Oh my goodness, we are coming in hot. Full stop. Welcome to Edinburgh Gateway. I wonder if we've got any more seeing any more trains before we get onto the main line. No, it doesn't look like it, unless there's like one in Gateway. There goes a tram. Fun fact, those trams are from ScotRail Express. Oh! I think that's a 66 pulley, a 385, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, those trams actually are layered from Edinburgh to Glasgow. But not only that, they also layer on to Pfalzische Ludwigsbahn, Mannheim to Kaiserslautern, if you have that route. I don't have it because it doesn't have any new motive power. Like, literally, like, what, like, Falsische Ludwigsbahn, if it had the version of the ICE 3 with French safety system, because all they did was recycle the ICE 3M from Köln to Aachen. But what they should have done is turn the ICE 3M into the ICE 3MF, which is the one with the French safety systems, and yet they didn't, just so they could spend more time on developing the route, I suppose. Like, none of the rolling stock included with Falsische Ludwigsbahn was new to TSW at the time. Though you could say the same about routes like Nafwerk or Dresden, but I definitely think that I'm never getting Falsische Ludwigsbahn. Sorry, if I went on a bit of a tangent there. South Gyle in about half a mile.
We'll soon arrive at South Gyle. Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
Nope. Damn it. I did not mean to lock the doors. Oops. There we go. That's my bad. Alright. Next stop, Haymarket in 3 miles. Rare stop at South this is a rare service that stops at Dalmeny, North Queens Ferry, and South Giles. So it's basically it's a rare all-stop service. Some services stop at Dalmeny, some at North Queens Ferry. A few stop at South Giles, but there are rare services. There are only a few services that stop at all three, and I just happened to select one for today's video. Ironic. We'll be clear back up to 90 in a minute, which is nice. I am definitely seeing diminished performance than normal, thanks to the API running in the background, but it's not too noticeable, especially since I'm recording at 30 FPS instead of the fact that I was recording at 60 FPS for a long time. There's the electrified main line. '90 limit kicks in. So now we'll start seeing 380s and 385s. Oh, we missed the 385 drag. That's a shame. There's the tram tracks. It's now gotten fully clear. Must have been like morning mist that burned off. It's a rare good British day. We do have a 50 and 35 limit kicking in at Haymarket, so we gotta keep an eye on that. Any trams knocking about in this area? Okay, there is one approaching, but we might see it behind Haymarket. It might go behind Haymarket Depot. Hopefully we do see it. Finally being under electric wires. Onto the brakes. One thing I also don't like about the Sprinter Express timetable is on ScotRail Express it actually had a lot of stock in it, but on Fife Circle it has barely any stock at all. There's the tram. Don't know what. I do not know why that is. Coming into Haymarket.
We'll soon arrive at Haymarket. Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
There's the 35 limit. Come on, slow down, buddy. There's the 385. Just leaving there. The 385 looks decent. It's just that it has such poor visibility that I just drive the class 380 if I can. Onto the brakes. Wonder if there are any other trains in the area. Yeah, 385s. Wonder where he's going. Probably heading to... Yeah, and then there's also a service heading to Laven. You're heading to Dunblane, so you're heading via Markinch, I think? Yeah. Dunblane, you're heading via Markinch. That's a Pendolino heading to... Well, it doesn't say. Doesn't... Yeah. That's a Pendolino off the West Coast Main Line South. Now, that's one of the few good things about West Coast Main Line South. Class 390 Pendolino. The fact that, though, it is quite, you know, it is quite, what's the word I'm looking for? It is quite limited by the fact that you can only run between Euston and Milton Keynes. Though, I say that, the recent release of Birmingham to Crewe has alleviated that somewhat, though it only totals about 80 miles of track that you can run it on. 50 miles on Birmingham Crewe and 35 miles on Euston to Milton Keynes. I do like the Pendolino though. It's a good add-on. Why it was bundled with Deluxe Edition is anyone's guess though. Like, that seems to be a feature with new core releases of TSW. Locos are bundled with the Deluxe Edition that shouldn't be bundled with the Deluxe Edition. Case in point, the Class 390 Pendolino, or the Cross Country Class 220, or the Amtrak ALP 45DP, or the BR294 diesel shunter. Next and final stop, Edinburgh Waverley. Hopefully we won't have that absolute lunatic of a bagpiper going full blast. Hopefully. Oh, there's the other train heading to Dunblane. It's a 380. Never mind. 385. I thought it was going via Markinch. It isn't. we do have a 20 limit kicking into force. The 380 and 385 services are actually playable, but just between Edinburgh Waverley and wherever it is, and Haymarket, just for 5 minutes. That's our first AWS ping of the day. Wow, that signal is bright with London Midland signal visual mod going. I try to keep mods on my computer to a minimum because, well, the more mods you have, the worse your game runs. So I try to keep mods on my computer to a minimum just to try to alleviate that. But I couldn't pass up this live weather mod because, yeah, it's really, really game changing. There's Edinburgh Castle, where it's 37 minutes past 1, which means the cannons at Edinburgh Castle fired 37 minutes ago. Shame, really. I like the little touches that Rivet do. Like, the little touches are Rivet's speciality. I do like that. Little Easter eggs and stuff. There is a 158 heading to Leven, and it's the Levenmouth Rail Link. Nice. That thing looks so good. Like, the Levenmouth Rail Link, that's one of my favourite liveries of any train in this game. It's just so complex and just gorgeous.
Don't forget to take your belongings with you before you leave the train.
I do like how the Glenrothes, Cowdenbeath and Leven services are all end-to-end runs. Like, you can do the full services. However, I say that, and then the services to Dundee and Perth are only playable as far as Markinch, which is annoying, but hey, it is what it is, sadly. Here's Edinburgh Waverley. Got a 385 and a 170. I think that 170's on standby. He's in a platform. He's in an area with no platform. Yeah, I think it's just a static one. No bagpiper. Yes. I think thankfully, he only plays at certain times of day, not all the time, because otherwise he'd be a menace. He is a menace, but only at certain times of day. Nothing against the Scottish people, but I just find bagpipes really annoying. Come on. DRA and taillights. Please. And there we go. Welcome to Edinburgh Waverley. Let's have a look at that Pendolino quickly. No! No! Dang it! The drone camera malfunctioned. Okay, so platinum medal. I'm going to... Alright. Where's the dang fast travel marker? Right, we can get around that by just doing that. There we go. So there's the train we just came in. Is that piano playable? It is. But, where'd that Pendolino be? I think it's around this side, isn't it? Ooh, route map. There we go. Full speed ahead. I do like Edinburgh Waverley. It is a nice station, apart from when the bagpipe is playing, but there you go. Is that Pendolino still there? No, it's not a Pendolino. It's a Class 801, I think. Is it a Class 801? It is a Class 801. Ah, that's a shame. I thought it would be a Pendolino. Oh well. So yeah, that'll be all for this video, everybody. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you want to see more stuff like this, especially with the live weather mod. And I'll see you all in the next video. Goodbye, and thank you so much for watching.